Hello. How's everybody doing out there? Peasant Chat. We talk to poor people. Very relaxed show. Today, I think it's going to be one of those shows that we get into the nitty gritty as to why Jim Farley says that he does not have enough technicians. And subject matters like this are near and dear to my heart because I come from a blue collar background, and obviously you can see problems at a micro level, but typically CEOs and companies and management do not see that. They see it from the ivory tower and they say, well, we got 6,000 bays and they're not taken up by technicians and wait times are 2 weeks. You know, what's going on? Maybe it's everyone else. It's not us. It's definitely not the company that's a problem. It's that people just don't want to work as mechanics. Today, we're going to talk about the absolute lunacy of Jim Farley being set on the loose on these podcasts to make the fans, the supporters, Ford customers realize that their CEO doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about when he says that there are simply people not getting into blue collar industries, calling everyone basically lazy and what do we have to do to change the culture, when in actuality, it's pay. You are not paying the technicians enough money because there have been so many recalls on your product that recall pay rate is so bad that people were like, if I have mechanical ability, I can pretty much open my little mom and pop shop or work for a smaller mom and pop shop and make more money. Today, we're going to make the case as to why Jim Farley, the CEO, keeps digging himself deeper and deeper in a hole, and he does not know how to get out. We'll talk about that and many more things. Been up before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It does suck. You know what doesn't suck is Parts Farm. Partfarm.com. That's right, Parts Farm, the online parts house, sponsor of the show. Partfarm.com. You get yourself Rob Bowen. Hit him up via text and say, hey, get me some parts over like wheels, tires, a complete interior, crank a pallet, pull out, because I don't. Partfarm.com. Nick James, PMAS. Nick James and PMAS, the best cold air intake and MAP sensors on the planet. Nobody else matters. Don't even bother buying another cold air unless it's the PMAS cold air intake if you want to get the best data possible and the best tuning possible. PMAS, Nick James and PMAS. Don't My God Cookies, Don'tMyGodCookies.com. Don't My God Cookies. If you like cookies, you like sweets, it's getting cold out there. Warm it up in the microwave for, what is it, 30 seconds? The gooeyest, most buttery, and maybe you'll get a hint of lotion and sniff. The chef, D&H Performance.com, the online parts house show, online parts house sponsor of the show. All your new parts, get them at D&H Total Solution, remind me that on Total Solution, he is still in Boston somewhere putting a turbo F-150 together. God bless him. Holy shit. And Bellac Industries is actually at FL2K, and he has spotted so many fake Bellacs. He's like, dude, everyone here has fake Bellacs. I had no idea Bellacs were being, put out into the ether. Fake Bellacs. Who knew? We got richprince.com/YDBT if you want to support the show and get some merch because, for doing so. YDBT hats, Amory hats, YDBT and Amory trucker style hats, Dolo curved and YDBT and Amory flat brim. Shiesties, if you want to, rob motherfuckers, you want to make sure they know who is robbing them. Shiesty. It's so stupid. Section hate shirts and hoodies, Hush Money shirts and hoodies. Hush Money's getting some work done. I like it. I like it when Hush Money gets a little bit of attention, right? The GT500 got a little bit of attention last night. It's still raining though, so I'm trying to do my best while the weather is shit. ZR50 shirts and hoodies, according to the what the fuck is his name? Holy shit, I forgot it's early. Fuck me. According to the fabricator, he's like, I might get it to you before World Cup. Woo! Booty Juice shirts and hoodies, LFA Juice shirts and hoodies, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, GT350, 85 to 86, 87 to 93, Save the Manual shirts, 1320 Didios for gay bullshit, F1320, YDBT and Amory, YDBT vertical hoodies, brother, everything, stickers, you name it. We got just everything. LFA Juice, these are so ridiculous. I can't believe I'm like I can't believe we built this. We built such a ridiculous thing. It makes me laugh. But let's talk about the fact that Jim Farley is talking out of his ass again. We'll say hi to the people here. Monty 540, Andy Ali, 5-Ho, Nick, B. Lavesh, Frank Donahue, Joe Swish, Clint Stroke, Joe Swish, Robostyle, Totally Dumper, I'm Hong Low, Casey Hamlin, Joe Jackson, Lemonade, 5-0 Stalin, Colby, John Bonanno, Carlos Bahena, Guatayama says, not enough mechanics? Shit, I'll sign up. I need more money. Guatayama again. Everyone giving likes already. Best supporters on God. Exactly. Guatayama again. Oscar Hernandez, Bryson Whip putting up the links. Thank you so much. Labco. Labco E50. Bro, the references are great. Nardi Mercado, Matt Oliver, C. Andrew, Mark Christensen, Traculs, Extraculex, TJ Sikorsky, Matt Oliver, F-150, RCSV, Sam Morales, Brooklyn Guy, Kenneth Lupus, Six Sills, Brooklyn Guy, Kim McAllister, and Kit Mahadaharia, whatever. Watayama again, Boosted, Rotary Junkie, we don't have mechanics, 97 factors rolled into one shitball. But the long and short of it is the people that are smart enough to be good technicians are smart enough to do something else. Damn, I just stopped the show there. You literally put it all in a nice little basket. Joseph Lacey, Jared Wells, Yogi, Yusuf, Caleb, Yusuf, Tujay, Dixon, The Parts Farm, woo-woo! Thank you, The Parts Farm, for some money. Gotta love it. Need some eggs and bacon. You Alex, formative Lincoln dealer, and biggest problems are Ford's terrible quality and warranty times. The process are trying to find young people getting into the trades that have brain cells. The biggest problems are okay, good. Broke ass white boy says that. And Fernando Navarrete, I can't believe I'm getting money on a peasant chat. What is going on today? Hey, I made it to life for once. Says some young guy, Justin Black Abyss, Peter Chow, Craig Walls, Billy Noonan, getting ready for World Cup. Let's get after it. This psychopath needs to be stopped. This guy absolutely needs to be stopped. Listen to this ridiculous shit.
6,000 bays in our dealerships with no technician. So can't get my car fixed. Nope. 2 weeks. Average wait is 2 weeks. Not because we don't have the parts, we don't have the mechanics. Factory workers, construction workers, farmers, all the people that move things, truck drivers, rail workers, and people fix things. Plumbers, electricians, HVAC, all the people that basically work with their hands. Why is there a shortage of these workers? Well, it's a complicated problem, but there is, let's put it that way, literally 1 million openings right now. Technicians in dealerships working on cars. At Ford, we have 6,000, probably 400,000 repair technician shortages across the economy. First of all, the productivity has not caught up with the white collar. In fact, it's gone down over the last 20 years. Number two, the jobs aren't as glamorous as a white collar job.
I'm having trouble not losing my fucking shit on this retard.
From college. And I think the permitting and all the regulations has really stunted the growth of these kind of jobs.
This guy's a retard. So let me go on my page here, and this guy summed it up nicely. Let me see.
This morning when I woke up, there were 6,000 bays in our dealerships. Why is there a shortage of these workers? Well, it's a complicated problem, but
I needed to do this oil pan gasket on this F-250 to pull the cab off of the frame to do it. And it's under warranty, so it pays like 0.6. Why don't you want to work for me? Having a good day.
Exactly. So I started going, well, because I'm not really aware of what's happening at the mechanic end of things, all you have to do is a very simple, it's a math problem. We talk about math all the time. So let me ask you guys a question. In terms of percentage, if there was a pie chart of, let's say, recalls by the NHTSA, showing you how many recalls were done by Ford as compared to anyone else, do you think Ford is up 2-1, 3-1, 1.5-1? Meaning, how many recalls in total has Ford had? Again, 2025 is not over. We're still in October 5th, 2025. So for those of you that work in the automotive, Jared Wells is probably a good example. Eric Vega, another good example. They're both technicians. How much does a warranty repair job pay versus a straight up job. Let's say, for instance, somebody comes in and he needs tie rods, upper and lower ball joints, and wheel bearings. Because, depending on where you live, that's a very common thing, especially if it's a front wheel drive vehicle or an all wheel drive vehicle. It's typically, if you go to a dealership and they're like, you need brakes, and by the way, while we were there, you need both front bearings done, upper and lower ball joints, tie rods, and whatever. So that's a good check. That's a good bill. That's a good looking ticket. And you're like, man, I'm going to make money today, because let's say it pays 8 hours of labor and you get it done in 4 because you've done it so many times. You got all the right tools. You invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in your tools. So you're zipping and zapping ball joints, ramming shit off, putting stuff in, taking it to alignment. Bam, tickets in 4 hours. You clocked in 8 hours on a 4-hour job. You're doing good. And let's say you do 3 of those or 4 of those or 6 of those a week. Let's say you do transmissions, like straight up transmission repairs, not warranty jobs. What's a warranty job pay? Let's say, for instance, for a 10R80 replacement. So let's say a straight up job. Let's say you pull the transmission, do a service on it. Let's say rebuild. Let's say they pay you 12 hours and you get it done in 8. You're up 4 hours. But a warranty job, let's say a warranty replacement of a 10R80, again, examples because I don't know exactly, 2. Yeah, it pays 2 hours. Well, so I got to slam this sucker apart so that I can make what the ticket says it should take, meaning it doesn't pay as well. Warranty jobs do not pay as well as straight up jobs, because warranty has to cover the nut, so they're not going to dole out the money. Now, let's list, since Orphan says warranty can almost be half the pay. So let's talk about what the vast majority of issues Ford has had this year. Okay? They've had massive issues with recalls. I don't know why this I thing is there, but look at the NHTSA recalls by manufacturer. Ford, 113 recalls. The next biggest is Chrysler with 34, then Forest River with 28, then Volkswagen with 20, General Motors with 20, International Motors with 17, Honda 16, Mercedes 16, BMW 14, Hyundai 13, Altec, 11, and Mack Trucks 11. 113 recalls in 2025, and 2025 is not over yet. Let's get after it. Loss of drivetrain power from the battery failure. Loose transmission cross member bolts. Steering gear assembled incorrectly. Rear shock absorber reservoir may detach. Instrument panel display failure. Rear camera image may not display. Steering wheel may turn unintentionally. Taillights may fail. Oh wait, this is all the same thing. Wait, taillights may fail. Missing warning turn signals. Improperly secured seatbelts. Incorrect rear camera imagery display. Loss of drive power from undetected low battery. Front windows may fail to reverse direction. Engine may overheat. Misaligned engine oil plug. Loss of brake function or brake fluid leak. Power windows may pinch. High voltage battery water damage may cause fire. Software error may lead to loss of steering from front control arm separation. Blank or distorted rear camera display. Rear camera image may not display again. Loose fasteners on lower intermediate shaft. Whoa. Airbag status indicator light not visible. I'm going by date. TPMS may not illuminate, so you got a flat tire and se acabó el party. Engine oil leak may cause failure. Backseat occupants may become trapped. Rear door window barred C-pillar trim may detach. High voltage battery contactor may overheat. Trailer brakes may fail. Low pressure fuel pump may fail. Cracked fuel injector may leak and cause a fire. Loss of power brake assist. Rear camera. Guys, 113 recalls. So he goes out there and says, well, it's the fact that, people don't want to join the workforce. We have 6,000 bays that need technicians. So it's a hard problem to solve. No, it's not, asshole. If I go into Ford, and let's say Jake was at Ford, I want to say 15 years ago. I know, long time. But he was rebuilding transmissions nonstop. He goes, Alex, I was making 6 figures. only rebuilding transmissions, not warranty work. Fuck warranty work. He was a specialist. So they just gave him transmissions and he would just rebuild transmissions all day long. He knew them like the back of his hand. He was very, very happy there. And then he wanted to grow and said, let me just do other things because I'm talented enough to maybe make more money somewhere else. If you take your car into Ford nowadays, the person barely knows about cars. The person graduated from being like a oil changer to a technician, and they take some certifications to basically get certified, and then they basically go through the service manual. Oh, this is a problem, and then you start logging in, and then it tells you the service time, how to do it. You study a little bit, and then you go ahead and do it. Do you know why I know that the technicians nowadays are not like the technicians that used to be at these places? A very simple crank relearn cannot be done by a technician anymore. A technician's going to say, you got to return it back to stock. No, you don't. You could use the user ID or the OS ID or whatever custom strategy your tuner is using. So if you have a manual Gen 2, it's FPGMO or 0. If you have a auto, FSGMO. If you have an 18 and up auto, FSKK 0. And then there's FMJJ 0 or whatever. So if he doesn't even know where to put that in, or even is curious, well, there's no way. I got to be able to. No, they say return it back to stock because it's easier for them because it's what they know. And then they do a crank relearn. And now you have a supercharged car with a stock tune on it. See you later. Hopefully it flashes the tune on it. Oh, look, the licensing went away because they updated the calibration. Now you have to relicense the file in many cases. A lot of these techs don't know much, and it's not because they're hiring bad people. It's because the people that are talented can make money in other industries. I think a guy that's very talented, just slinging wrenches all day, can sling wrenches in places that simply pay more money. Whether you're taking care of industrial equipment or anything else, or a mom and pop shop, I can almost make the case that if you're a talented tech, you can go to a mom and pop shop, show them your resume, say you have a built-in customer base, say that you specialize on Ford stuff. But let's be honest, something I've noticed by working on these cars, remember, I kind of do mostly Ford stuff, but the Fairmont, the Cadillac, all these vehicles that I've had, the F-150, I've worked on them myself. And there's a common thread. I think Chevy has a easier suspension layout to work on than Ford does. I think Chevy you could probably work on a Chevy a lot easier than a Ford simply due to the fact that it's overhead cam. Obviously, you know that if you got to do a starter on a Ford overhead cam engine, you got to have a certain amount of extensions. You got to go through the front. You got to go through where the motor mount is. There are little tips and tricks that with experience, you could say, I got this covered. So if you're at Ford and you're barely making $45,000 to $50,000 a year because of all these warranty jobs, you can go to a mom and pop shop, give them your resume, and you can bring in some customers, and you can probably make another, 25% on top of that, and not deal with the bullshit that Ford deals with. Now, the problem is if you're working for Ford, you are working with an inferior product already based on the recalls. Again, based on the recalls. I'm not a Ford fan. I'm a Coyote fan. That's where I stopped being a Ford person. I am a Coyote. I love the motor. I think it should go in everything. Everyone should swap a Coyote into their project car and just live a happy life. I have stopped being a Ford fan. I own 2 GMs. So I think that if you're a tech, you got to start looking at the recalls and the parent company that you work for and start going, do I want to work for this company? Because the product that they're putting out there is bad. Now, Jim Farley, unfortunately, thinks he's a politician. He went out there and said something really stupid. It's a complicated issue. No, it's not. You need to make better products. If you make better products, less recalls happen. And then you get regular jobs, regular, non-warranty repaired jobs to their techs. But their techs are probably sick and tired of doing yet another warranty repair job, yet another gasket replacement that you got to take the cab off of the truck to access, yet another 10R80 issue that is covered under warranty. And the quality goes down the more you speed up the tech. If the technician sees that this is only paying half of what a normal job would pay, you are going to speed him up so that he can make money and that when you speed things up, problems can happen. I've always said that quality and fast should not be in the same sentence. Like, I want a quality job, but I want it done fast. Nope. If you want a quality job, it takes however long it takes. Right now, for example, if you want a Billy Badass built race car, I'd rather it take some time. You know, take some time. Again, I'm not in a rush. I'm racing. It's a toy. I want you to do a really good job. I want it to be quality. I want it to really come out good. Fuck, you're charging me a good nut. Let's go. But some shops try to get around that by cookie cuttering things and going fast and making money. Everyone has to make money. We understand that. But Ford is, you're working with a bad product if you work for a Ford dealership. You're already starting off with a bad product. So then, as a tech, you have to go, do I even want to stay here? If you are a talented tech, you can work on anything. The moment you go into the industrial field, your pay triples. Triples. Go to any chemical plant. If you're a technician working on cars, slinging wrenches all day, a chemical plant is easy by comparison. Easy by comparison. You got chain falls, you got hoists, you got cranes, you got, they're overkill with their safety. And they probably pay you an hourly nut, and the hourly nut is really good. And when you do the math, you're like, yeah, I could probably make 1 week $1,200 or $1,500 or $2,000 at Ford. But at this chemical job, I could make consistently $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a week take home and be a happy cat. So I think Ford needs to understand that the reason you are down on techs, it's not because there aren't people getting into the trades. People don't want to work for Ford. If all they have to do and all the bays are full of warranty work. Imagine you go somewhere and you have nothing but recalls left and right, and you're like, I guess we're not making any money this week. And then you start looking at mom and pop shops that don't take in warranty work, and people, maybe the cars are a little older. Right now, there's a place right here where I live. It's like a little Jiffy Lube type place, but they do actual mechanic work. Place is always packed. The parking lot is full of cars, and they're not junk. Mercedes, Honda, Chevy, Ford, alike, Hyundai, you name it. The lot is full. And those techs, if they hustle, they know what they're doing, and they got some talent, can probably make some money. And I think a Ford tech, after a couple of years of warranty work, will start going, what else is out there? Bringing $50,000 a year home is not worth it for the amount of hours that I work, and I don't see it getting any better based on how Ford is making vehicles. Are you a Ford tech? Are you a tech at all? Has warranty work basically made working for any dealerships impossible? Or is Jim Farley right? Nobody wants to do blue collar work anymore. I know the answer. Fuck Jim Farley. Customer pays jobs are always better, but CP doesn't come to most dealers. Customer pay. We get them every now and then, but not often. Ford designs failures into the vehicles, and it seems they're all warranty. More and more jobs are warranty, and all these extended warranties, you got cars with 100,000 miles on them with warranties. They should get paid by the hour for their skills, period. You should get paid more for warranty jobs, not less. Honda Tech here pays 11 hours for a short block and some V6 Odyssey Pilot. Re-ring on 3 cylinders are 8 hours. They also don't pay any diagnosis under warranty. It's garbage. I'm the guy who was asking Patreon about going to work at any Ford dealerships, and I chose not to, mainly because of flat rate pay. Authority warranty pay compared to customer pay, and sometimes less. Volvo and Mack rates are a joke. He hates working for them, and hated working for them in Cali. Feels like we have a lot of recalls on Mercedes, and I can't imagine over 100 within a year. Jesus. I got out of the dealership 3 years ago because of getting shafted on pay and local owned. Shafted on pay. Been at local owned shop, and I work on everything now. Boss paid me $500 to put in a 10R80 in an F-150 a couple of weekends ago for side work. So if you are starting to see a resurgence in mom and pop shops, it's due to the failures of the dealerships at the top. I would rather see, in Florida specifically, it's tough. People come here to chill out, coast, and fish. They don't come here to do blue collar work. But if you end up in the Northeast and Midwest states, I think you can get a lot of quality technicians at mom and pop shops, little mom and pop shops. Now, maybe sometimes customer pay jobs are a pain in the ass because the car's older and maybe you're not familiar with them. I think a traditional technician, a guy that just knows how to fling wrenches, and you might think it's blasé to say that, but I think it's a talent. I think flinging wrenches and knowing how to take a starter out quickly, like if you look at a Ford Mustang, you know what tools you need. You know what tools you need immediately. And you know when I started feeling a little more comfortable working on the cars is when I had the tools. I have a crane set up in one of my garages, okay? An electric chain fall. I can hook up to an engine and hit a button and it comes up. Now, I wouldn't have known how awesome that was unless I worked in an industrial field that had them all over the place, all over chillers, all over pumps, all over these pump houses. Well, I'm like, what is that? Oh, that gantry crane. It just hovers over something, chain fall it, boom, boom, and you're in and out. You're lifting thousands of pounds really easily. And I'm like, boy, I should get that because I'm working a lot on cars. Then I got a set of quick jacks. So I got quick jacks. I got all the tools. I got every wrench you could think of. I have power tools. And I started going to myself, I could do this work. Right, so I can throw in a turbo 400 transmission in a Coyote swap Fox body. That's not a problem. And then I started getting so comfortable that I started thinking I could probably Coyote swap a ZR1 because I got comfortable with the thought process of, throwing stuff in where it doesn't belong and making it fit. I got comfortable. And then I had people around me like Jake that in terms of the technical aspects of the fitment of things, but the physical action of doing the wrenching, I'm not afraid of doing anything on any car anywhere. So if you have that mindset, you can go to a mom and pop shop and you have all your tools built in. You bring your Snap-on box with you that cost you $100,000 over 40 years. And you can go in there and sling and they're going to see you as an asset. Boy, this kid's good. This dude's good. And a lot of older guys are probably being seen as like more favorable because they got the experience behind them. They can go to a mom and pop shop and do a brake job, lickety split, and not ask, hey, how do you compress the caliper on this thing? You just do it. So it's not that it's not that people aren't getting into the blue collar workforce. There's just no money in it. Do you know how many young people I know that day trade? And I think that is the biggest waste of time on the planet unless you already have money. Unless you already have a good amount of money in there. I think day trading is so fucking stupid. And it's an easy way of you thinking that you're doing something, making moves. So anytime I see a day trader take a picture of a screen with red and green boxes all over the place, I go, what'd you make, $400 today? You could have probably done that hustling somewhere. Show a skill. What asset, what product are you putting into day trading except your tiny amount of capital, and you think you're just going to somehow meander through it and make $1 million when you haven't had any experience in anything? I think a skill is something you absolutely should hone. And if you happen to be in the blue collar fields, again, Florida, if you want to make money guaranteed in Florida, you get into HVAC, plain and simple. Boats. Do you fuck with boats? Florida is full of boats. You want to get into a field that is guaranteed money? Boating. Anything. Whether it's small engines, big engines, hull repair, maintenance, you name it. Landscaping. Or servicing small motors, like little weed whackers and stuff. If you're a little mom and pop shop and you service little motors, and you can have landscaping companies dropping off shit, fixing it, doing repair work, and getting after it, you have an abundance of work. So if you're a technician, why would you work at Ford for $20 an hour on repair work when you can probably make double that literally fixing weed whacking equipment? Stupid. I used to be a diesel tech too before I switched to the industrial maintenance. And David Miller, tell me how much cleaner and how much more pay is industrial maintenance over being a diesel tech? Answer that question. I'd love to hear it. I have a side hustle working in an auto parts store. A lot of dealerships return parts where a diagnostic was performed and then return the part, didn't fix the problem. That's the other thing. Free diagnosis. That is psychotic. How are you supposed to make money diagnosing shit for free? The moment a diagnostic tool comes out, and we get people on the tuning side of things asking the same question. I got these codes. I'm going to my room. I got these codes. What do they mean? So I'm like, wait a minute. they're on the internet replying to an email after they scan codes with their phone, asking me, what do those codes mean? I go down the rabbit hole. I go, this guy typed on an iPhone after the HP Tuners TDN network spit out codes, a reply to an email, screenshooting codes to me. Okay. I could probably be like, well, I'm going to have to charge you $50 because it's going to take time out of my day to go to Google and Google the codes for you. So, $50 diagnostics fee for the code decoding, and we'll let you know. Oh, here's $50. P0315 means it needs a crank relearn, so go ahead and do a crank relearn. Oh, man. Fuck, you know so much. I can't imagine if you go to a shop and there's a guy that's got thousands of dollars in diagnostic equipment. Hey, how you doing? I got a check engine light on my car. Okay. Can you diagnose it? Sure, ma'am. That'll be $50. What do you mean $50? The dealer up the street doesn't charge. Take it to the dealer up the street, cunt. I get paid for my work. Those diagnostic tools were not free. So if you are here right now, pony up $50, and what does that save you? It saves you from slinging parts on a vehicle. So if you connect to a vehicle and it has a P0301, well, the guy's going to go, there's a cylinder misfire on number 1. But what can cause a cylinder misfire on number 1? Fucking an injector, whether it's DI or PI. It's not firing right. Could be a coil, could be a plug. So do you think I'm going to go ahead and just buy them all? Or do I go into the matrix and go, okay, P0301, let me pull the coil, let me pull the plug, make sure the plug isn't obviously fucked up. There is a way of doing a power balance test. If you have a Ford vehicle and a Ford IDS tool, you can see if one cylinder is not firing right. So then you can basically whittle it down to, well, it's either a plug, coil, or injector, but the cylinder misfire is on number 1. That diagnostic should be charged. Somebody should be charged for using your $1,000 scanner, putting it in there, knowing your knowledge, the learning you've done, all of the experience you've had. That costs something. That's why I charge people to be on Patreon. Almost anything can be figured out as long as you know where to start. Maybe Ford should focus on engineering vehicles and not selling soap with Dr. Squatch. I would switch careers, but I don't know if I can get paid as much as I do for as little work as I do. My hourly rate at the small refinery work is $39.71 with benefits. At a minimum, I bring home $2,600 every 2 weeks. That is $85 or so thousand a year. Most I've made was $8,000 in 2 weeks. As a tech, I made $400 a week. I made bank when I helping to build oil drilling rig from the ground up, doing all the electrical and braking systems. I worked at a dealership and it was almost tripled. I worked in a dealership and it has almost tripled my income to go industrial maintenance and automation repairs. It's not that people don't want to do the work, Jim Farley. People aren't paid enough to do the work. So if you give me, guys, for those of you, if you're comfortable doing this, I need you guys to post on the chat. Take home pay at a dealership. And I'm not looking for braggadocious motherfuckers. I'm saying, what was the average check you got take home after working at a dealership in modern era, meaning a lot of recalls, things like that. Take home pay. So let's put it out there. Let's say you make $1,000 before taxes. That's 52 weeks a year. Let's say $1,000 a week before taxes, 52 weeks a year. That is $52,000 a year. So if taxes and all the other bullshit, let's say your take home pay after $1,000 check was about $700 or high $600 if you have dental insurance, or let's just say $700. So $700 a week or so is about $52,000 a year after taxes, right? Can we agree on that? So you don't go crazy telling me $4,000 a week, psychotic bullshit. If when I worked at Toyota, I only made $1,200 every 2 weeks. So he made about $45,000 to $50,000 a year because he was bringing home $600 a week, $1,200 biweekly. I made good money as an automotive tech. Most of the 15 years I did it, left that world for fleet maintenance, no stress, good union and benefits, treated like a human. So thank you, Bryson Witt, for being, honest. Black Abyss was getting 34 an hour, 30 hours a week as a Volvo with California taxes, but had to supply all my own tools. HVA tech here, and I made $78,000 a year, plus all the side work pushes me well into the $100,000 range. I'm not going to be a car tech for half of that. So car techs were making about $45,000 to $55,000 a year entry level. Can we agree on that? An entry level car technician can come into work in 2025 and expect to make $45,000 to $55,000 a year, maybe $60,000 a year in 2025. Can you live on that? Sure, absolutely. The amount of work that you do is not worth the pay, because I cannot imagine someone that can put a transmission in and out of a truck, especially a four-wheel drive truck with a transfer case and all this crazy shit, the amount of tools he has to supply or he has to have, knowledge, courses, equipment, diagnostic equipment, rent, everything all into it. You're basically making what a teacher makes. And you have about an equal amount of time, effort, investment in your education, tools, money, etc. That's not a good comparison. Orphan of Gascoigne, whatever, says around $650 a week living in New York, which is crazy expensive. My highest check at my dealer, I worked in Louisiana for a 55 hours of flag time. Holy shit, he says was $457. I checked the paper as a reminder that I wasn't going back. There are certain moments in life where you figure out what you want to do with your life, and getting paid such little money. Do you know how difficult it is to be a tech? Do you know how difficult it's backbreaking work? Heaven forbid you get a finger injury or a wrist injury. A wrist injury? A wrist injury. You guys go, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? If you hurt your wrist in any way, shape, or form, that it painful to do this, you're going to suffer a lot in productivity. When you feel 100% healthy, and let's talk about your back. Let's talk about your shoulder. Let's talk about your finger. I mean, you are manhandling parts most of the time. And if you ever get injured, that slows down everything. So you got to think about that. About 1,000 to 1,300 weeks is Amir Sahir. Best take home a year in 10 years of doing it was $93,000. Average about $78,000. But that's 6 a.m. first in, 6 p.m. last out. Busting my ass, fighting warranty labor rate. Cuts got rough. So there you go. A lot of the people are in the chat are basically saying what I think has been the issue is the pay and the warranty pay. And if the warranty pay is more noticeable because the product that Ford is pushing out, the mothership is pushing out shit product, knowing that we'll cover it on warranty if shit pops up. And there have been 5-to-1 recalls versus any other manufacturer in the US, not even fully done through October 2025. I wouldn't want to work there either. I literally would not. So if you can sling wrenches, if you're mechanically inclined, you can work anywhere else. And Farley is 100% wrong, and he should take that back. He should say,
take that, Elon Musk.
I think that people don't want to work for an industry that does not pay them based on their knowledge and labor, and when it is not under their control. So I worked for a hot rod shop in Texas, and my job was to I basically, whoever comes into the door, I basically have to outline the build for them. I have to understand margins. I have to understand what parts are going to make us money. And sometimes those are shitty parts. And I hated that aspect of the game. But one of the technicians was special. He was an older gentleman. And his job was to do nothing but old shit. And I'll give you an example. Let's say a 79 Trans Am came in. And the 79 Trans Am had carburetor issues. had intake manifold leaks, air conditioning wasn't working, needed front brakes and a front suspension rebuild like shocks and all that stuff. Well, he didn't ask me to do the work. The ticket went right to him. Boom. He would go in the computer and he would see, he had access to everything. He was basically his own person. He would go in and do all this stuff and then quote it. Then he'd call the customer himself. Hey, how you doing? Your 79 Trans Am needs the following. If you want the air conditioner fixed, it's going to cost me this. I got to get custom hoses made. The Freon is old, so I got to do this. And he went through the whole thing. And you know that son of a bitch had a ticket of about $5,500 fucking dollars. And he got all the parts ordered because Houston, the nice thing about living in a big city like that is you can get anything, anywhere, anytime. And so much industry, so many things. He got all the parts coming because he had access to all that stuff in the system. He got it all done in one day, and he cashed out a $5,500 ticket right then and there. So in one day, parts, labor, he probably made $2,000. One day. Now, obviously, the shop gets a cut of that, right? Because they pay him a certain rate. It's a percentage. But that one ticket for that one guy that knew how to do everything on that older vehicle netted him probably $1,000 that day. And that guy had work for years. Chevelles, Mustangs, Falcons, old shit. And people love their old cars and they got money. And he would just sit there. The guy could probably make $3,000 to $5,000 a week, maybe more. Come on. That guy was in his 50s. And funny thing is, I'm close to 50 now, which is mind blowing. It like my mind doesn't make because I'm so hot. So that guy looks so crusty at 50 years old. No wonder people are leaving. I make more with no school or tools needed. Broke a wrist getting taken out by a treater truck. Was out for work for 6 months and then had to rehab that arm to get the strength back. Door rates have went up over the years and the tech pay has stayed the same. More warranty, customer pay, having recalls, and TSPs shoved down our throats, having those rates cut. List goes on. I went from being a car mechanic to industrial mechanic to utility lineman at my local power company. I'll never go back. I work less and make a ton more. I love how he thinks, Jim Farley, that people just stopped building things. No, they go to the trades that pay money. Mechanics rip people off all day. I don't feel bad for them. No, they don't. No, they don't. Not honest ones. Yes, there's bad actors, but by and large, most mechanics are pretty honest. I'm 25 and my back flares up every now and then, and I've only been in tech for 5 years. You're 25. I would tell you, Amir, that shit does not rear its ugly head until your late 30s, early 40s. Late 30s, early 40s. I had to stop doing certain exercises at the gym, and that was the smartest. The ego has to go away sometimes. Because you're just lifting stuff. You're young. Oh, yeah, what's up with that? Yeah, And then one day you're 30 and you just get up off the couch. And you go, ugh. You ever notice that? Have you noticed that? You used to pop up off the couch, bam, boom. Now it's like, oof. Or sitting down, you go, ugh. There's a noise accompanied with the action. I'm lucky. I stopped doing certain exercises at the gym. Squatting, no more squatting. Squatting, I literally hurt my back every time I squat. Leg presses, I could do all day. Leg extensions, curls, hamstring curls, all day. That's all I need. And hamstrings, and calf raises, and there's your whole leg's done. So I don't need to do certain exercises because depending on the industry that you're in, you can really get fucked up in it. I make $62,000 a year, work 30 hours a week. I'm not ever going to be a mechanic. You can make more money. You got 10 hours. You got hours left in the week. Unless you're comfortable making 62, good for you. When I was in my early 20s, I wanted to be a tech, but I'm glad I went to the oil field, and now I'm about to hit my 40s, and I grossed $180,000 last year as a nitrogen operator / truck driver. You mean the guys that like drive the truck to like SpaceX and just fill up with LOX and liquid oxygen and methane? What they need to do is hurry up and make sure the hot chocolate machine is topped up. I started as a drywall finisher, almost 20, about to turn 40 in January. I just put in last week's timesheet to push me over $131,000 a year to date. Friends and family still ask me if I'm doing drywall. So what is the pay rate for, what is this? What is this video? Okay, I'm trying to see what these videos.
Morning when I woke up.
No, I'm trying to see, making sure that I'm not missing a video or two. Nope, we're good. Okay, so what? Let's say, what does a McDonald's worker make in Texas? 12 to 13 an hour. That's proper. How about in California? 20 an hour, which is psychotic. How about in New York? New York. 16 to 19 an hour. So yeah, if you're coming to Florida, you're making shit for money. So 20 times 40 times 52. 41,600 a year. If you make $20 an hour and you work 40 hours a week and you work all year, 52 weeks, you can make $41,600 working at McDonald's. If you are making $40,000 a year as a tech, you should really rethink life choices, because you have so much knowledge up there. You have so much experience. Don't let anyone ever look down on you and say, oh, you're still a mechanic. Bitch, without us, nothing runs. Your air conditioner doesn't run. Your lawn equipment doesn't run. Your cars don't run. Your trucks don't run. Your power plants don't run. Your water does not come out of the faucet. How do you think any of this stuff works? How do you think electricity gets to your house? How do you think water gets to your faucet? How do you think air conditioning and heating works? Do you think it just works by osmosis? It just well, we built it, it's going to work forever. And then there is the concept of maintenance. Maintaining this equipment is actually a bit of an art. There are shutdowns. There are things. There's greasing. There's certain things that needs to happen in terms of maintaining a vehicle. And for those of you that, like, women are the worst at maintaining a vehicle. Have you ever gone out with a girl that has the super clean house? Super tight puss. Everything is perfect. Wow. Waxes, house done, nails done, everything done, hair, everything is perfect. Gooch is on point. But the car looks like someone puked in it. The car looks like a fucking mess. There's stains on. Why is there a stain on this seat where your vagina is? Why are you just... someone cream pied and you just let it drip? That weird. That car requires maintenance. That car requires you to clean it, check the alignment. A lot of men. I have seen men dumbfounded that their tires wore unevenly and there was cords showing. You don't get under the vehicle once a month and just wiggle suspension around, look for leaks? Or do you just get in it, turn it on, and hope everything works? The Cadillac started doing some weird shit. I found out the tires are fucked up. Okay, I gotta get new tires. So I just let it sit because I knew it's $700 to $1,000 to fix the issues that's happening. Once I got my head out of my ass, I'm like, all right, let's buy the tires, let's get them installed. I swapped the tires out here in air conditioning. I got a piece of cardboard, I got the equipment, and I plopped them out. So they need some balancing, but actually the thing drives pretty good. So when I tell people, yeah, I swap my own tires, they go, the what? I go, I swap my own tires. What do you mean you swap your own tires? I literally take the tires off of the rim and put them back on the rim manually. Why do you do that? Because it costs me a day to have some other jamoke do it. You don't maintain your vehicle? So when I see a girl that has a maintained vehicle, I know she got a man. I know she's got a man. A woman that has a vehicle that has all the tires to the proper pressure, the oil change light is not on, the check engine light is not on, and the car seems to be mechanically sound, I know that bitch got a man. You're the right person. You're right. The person next to me is near 50, and he tells me all the time, my body won't be the same lifting the things I do, so I should listen to y'all. I was told that as a 26-year-old man. The guy, I lifted a oxygen acetylene tank off a truck, and I just bear hugged it, put it down, and the guy goes, "You're gonna be 40 one day, and your back's gonna be so fucked, you won't even be able to sleep at night." And you know what? I thought, fuck, he's right. So from then on, I honestly was like, well, I'm gonna get the forklift, and I'm gonna ratchet it down. I'm gonna ratchet this bottle down on a pallet, and I'm gonna get the forklift and lift it down. And somebody, oh, you pussy, why don't you just lift it off? Because I want my back to be okay when I'm 40. In California, there are some Wendy's paying $24 an hour, and I know this because my girlfriend works at one. Good, bro. Good for you. People don't know and don't. Okay. Oh, this thing's gonna freeze. Come on, just hurry up and freeze already so I can just reset it. Every single day. Actually, it hasn't frozen. There it is, finally. It hasn't frozen in the last couple of weeks. So, for whatever reason, it's a Chrome thing, and people say, you know what to do with your bit rate. It's your fucking bit rate. Pop out chat. Here we go. Yeah, it freezes, and then a nice little reboot helps everything along. So I'm going to keep, I don't know why I'm making money on this chat. Peasant chats usually don't make money, but I'm happy that this one is. Actually, Alex, I did that in 2021 before moving to a different company. It was neat. I met some of the engineers in charge of the logistics of the locks, cool people, and they gave me an impromptu tour. Nice. I couldn't be a mechanic for a living. It's just not the pay, but the annoyance of being between how certain things are engineered and cousin Pookie's bub it up repairs. When I saw how much fast food was paying in California is when I walked away from being a tech at 42, not destroying my body, and then have screwed up pay in this state is so much. Get the fuck out of there. Get out of, I don't understand why you guys stay somewhere that just beats you down. Look at Valley 10 Speed. He's like, I'm out of here. Move to Arizona. Smart guy. The manufacturer should be able to show possible to complete the flat rate and torque everything spec in the time given. Some warranty jobs I get are impossible. The $10 difference doesn't even cover the cost of tools. Ultima, cars run on gas. Alex, self-reliance is at an all-time low. People don't know and don't care. But if the tire goes flying off, they get sued. You don't. I'm buying my fiance a used Tesla for the fact that I don't trust her to maintain it properly because her hands are too pretty to do anything but keep the battery charged. What about the tires? Are you going to be responsible? The last girl I dated had the most beat-up Honda Accord I've ever seen. I just beat up. And I'm like, I'm dating one of those girls. Interesting. I do my own tires too, 100%. The washer fluid light is the first sign she has a man maintaining it. Exactly. Because then they have to figure out where the fluid goes. And women will gaslight you into believing anything. They're the victim. No accountability. But hand them a blue bottle of windshield washer fluid and watch them revert into being a dainty, traditional woman. Here you go. I don't know where this goes. Well, do you know how to read? Stupid. Yep. What is this? Well, the blue goes on your windshield. The orange or red goes in your radiator. Okay. Open the hood, stupid. Open the hood. Strong woman. Independent woman. Open the hood. Open the hood and put the prop rod up. You know what? I don't like that you're mansplaining. Shut the fuck up. Open the hood. You're a strong woman. You're independent. Fucking do it up. Okay. All right. Now what? Okay. Do you know how to read, stupid? Yeah. Okay. So if you have windshield washer fluid in your hand and it's blue, where does it go? Well, this one has a sign of a wiper, but this one says oil. And this one says coolant. This is too difficult for me. You're just mansplaining, gaslighting. You know, cars are built by men. Stupid. Just admit you don't know. Make the sandwich. Make the sandwich. And I got it. You see? Traditional roles. One thing my girl is bad about her car is putting gas in it. You know it's going to be good when the tire pressure is 15, 21, 11, 45. You know, my tires weren't filled up all the way. Why? Because I tried to get them to 100% full. What? 100% full. What do you mean 100% full? Well, I went to the place and I could only get one of my tires to 100%. No, that's pounds per square inch, PSI. Did you read on the tire the recommended pounds per square inch? Did you read the English words on the tire that tell you how much? I thought it was 100%. No, it's like 40 or 32 to 40, depending on the tire and car. If it's a truck, shit, it could be way up there. I will not say much. I would say not much is beating the Mustang 5.0, especially Camaros. What are you fucking talking about? These basic chats. I could only imagine how hard men worked on the Titanic only to keep the ship running smoothly. Before you can be old, you can be wise, and first you have to be young and stupid. I'm 63 and I'm paying for my stupidity now, says John Bonanno. You're 63? Oh, thanks for joining. I became a Ford Tech at 19, and the old guys would tell me I could feel the weather changing on their bones from all the surgeries, and it made me change how I look at my body. Absolutely. If you are old and you've had bone spurs, your elbows start to flare up, your shoulders start to flare up, and your knees start to flare up when the barometric pressure drops. They'll know exactly where the washer fluid goes until they go looking for where it's supposed to go. Having a traditional woman has some perks. Balls are drained and food is always ready when. I have not experienced that since I was 22 to 32 years old. One traditional woman in my life. She was perfect. But I had to get the fuck out of Massachusetts. She wasn't willing to move. Can't relate to the everything hurts crowd. Doing drywall and taping 30 years. Yeah, some stuff gets sore, but eating healthy and getting my ass in shape has changed my life. Hello, Lund women. Hello, Lund women here. Dude. John Lund's wife hops on a mower, turns it on, mows the yard, Senior edges the yard, right? Then she goes in, she does everything a traditional woman does, right? Then she literally runs the business, the back end in terms of the payment system, everything, payroll, you name it. Then she goes home, cooks a perfect meal for her man. Then she sits there and crochets a little bit. Then she goes to bed. You ain't finding that shit now. You ain't finding that shit anywhere. You hear this fucking shit. Stupid. What do you do? I'm turning up with my bitches. What if you get pregnant? No problem. Abortion is legal. And we're gonna finna get it done.
I'm BDF, nigga, baby daddy free. That mean I ain't got a nigga, baby coming out of me. So I'm ABORTING.
Yeah.
Cause I'm trifling. 40 Glock on my nightstand. Roll up his backwood before he put that pipe in.
Can you put windshield washer fluid in your car? Most women wouldn't even be able to follow along on Blue's Clues. Independent women's talk the man game, but they should be able to split the wood and mow the yard, right? It's a little cold out here. I remember, so 2 girlfriends ago, her father had a cabin in the woods in Pennsylvania somewhere, Scranton area. And one of the first weekends or 2 that I got to know him, he had a wood burning fireplace. And he's like, go out there and talk and chop some wood. I'm like, shit. As an ex-baseball player, I'm going to fucking fling these wood's flying. Poof! Ah! Shit's going everywhere. Right? And he's like, it's nice to see my daughter dating a man. When a father says that to you, you're like, damn. It's nice to see my daughter dating a man. And then we go on his boat, right? And the boat don't start. And you see the fuel come out in the water. Because I didn't know that. I literally did not know the exhaust for boats is in the water. I'm like, fuck, that's like all the pollution. Oil, exhaust, poor fish. He's like, I'm hanging out. Oh, there comes Charlie with his boat again. So I said, when's the last time you gave this thing a tune-up? And his girlfriend, because, her parents were divorced, his girlfriend says, I told you this thing needs a tune-up. He's like, it doesn't need a tune-up. I go, it needs a tune-up. This thing has spark plugs and wires and a rotor. Yeah? Well, change them. When was the last time you changed them? He's like, it's been years. I go, change them. Change them. So he's like, it doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. It needs a fuel filter. I go, okay, cool. A month later, we go back, get in the boat. Like, the key hadn't even been pushed forward enough, and the thing started right up. It went, boom! And I went, did a tune-up on it, huh? And he's like, yeah. Spark plugs were all fucked up. I'm like, right. So he's like, my daughter's dating a man. Now who the fuck knows? The NXX was designed by a woman. Okay. I hate that car. Got a call from an ex 5 years gone by. Needed help with the car. I was like the last guy to change the oil for reason. I was the last guy to change oil reason for a call. Wow. I had a grown-ass man customer, but PS fluid, power steering fluid in the coolant reservoir is F-150 with electric power steering. Read the tire? I don't understand. What do you mean read the tire? Removes all cabin, pours windshield washer fluid in the engine. It blows my mind when I see a TikTok of a jack dude in his Corolla trying to figure out how to check the oil level. There are a lot of men in this generation that might as well be a woman. That's because they're raised by their mom. It's real simple. They don't have the fear of having to face a man slap them silly across the head. See, when a woman like hits you, it hurts when you're up until like maybe 7 years old. You shouldn't do that, Billy. A man holds back 90% of the force he hits you with. He goes, stupid. And that goes up incrementally the more you age. So if you're 7 years old, your father gives you 10% of a slap. If you're 9 years old, here comes 30%. If you're 15, he's like, fucks you up. And if you don't understand that there is some fear there, and you're like, I'm not going to fuck up because I don't want to face that wrath. Men act accordingly. But when they're raised by their mom, none of that shit is present. Top off the chest, they got emotions. Men start crying. I don't know what I'm doing in my life. Pendejo. Men don't cry. We go to the gym. 100% full PSI. Man, I know some dudes who didn't understand it was reading PSI. Alex, explain it to me like I'm quirky. She really did. The bar is so high, I would never find that in a modern woman. Ever. You should be on the dating apps. It's crazy. I went overseas for mine. Definitely wasn't finding a girl marrying in the U.S. Yeah, the problem is they want papers. And they'll do whatever until the papers show up. Then they're gone. You got to start over again. I haven't experienced that, but I've met men that have experienced that. Simple. Never give them papers. Always keep them auditioning. Sorry. I want to be treated good. I'll treat you good. But the moment you get papers, you're gone. Fuck all that. My old boss's wife was like that. Lund women. I'm not going to talk about my coworkers but their situation's okay. They don't know how good they have it. She kept the garden and the yard and mowed the lawn and kept the books while he ran the shop and kept track of his 3 mechanics, service, and vehicles. Only in the U.S., I agree. Alex must have been so proud. I was like, where do you get one of those? Where's she now? Where's who now? Oh, she's still in Massachusetts. I'm like, sorry. I got to get out of here. And she don't look as good. I'm sorry. She doesn't look as good. She's my age. Why would I want to date a woman my age? It's crazy. If any of you guys have issues with aches and pains, honestly, just exercise. Get in decent shape physically. And even more importantly, it keeps the demons away. Yes, a lot of us deal with these internal demons that a lot of women don't understand. They have no idea. Women leave the house. I don't know why it always goes back to this, but it does. When women leave the house, they're like, na 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 na. I leave the house, I'm like, who the fuck is that motherfucker? Whose car is that? Shit. Walk to my car, get in it, make sure no one's in the back seat. Turn it on, take a right, and you're like, Motherfucker didn't cut his grass. Fuck. Motherfucker didn't cut his grass. Cut your fucking grass, man. My property value is good. Stupid son of a bitch. Take a ride. Go to the light. All right, I got to the intersection first. So I go. Ooh, asshole, I got to the intersection first! Yeah, women, they don't even think about anything. S650 was designed by a woman too, I agree. She left her boyfriend again and is now back with her husband. Debating and aborting on this one too. Worthless waste of breath. I've seen, what? She left the boyfriend again and is now back with the husband. Wow, what is happening? Jake, my ex-wife and I divorced at 2019, because she cheated while I was overseas. She left her current husband, got pregnant, left her boyfriend, and fucking with me. Murder. She aborted the baby, went back to him later, and she's pregnant. She left her boyfriend again and is now back with her husband, debating on aborting this one too. Worthless waste of breath. If I told you the stories that I know, man, women get over men by going out with another guy. They don't get over it in their own head. They don't go, how did I fuck up? How did my behavior influence his decision making? What did I do to make him act the way he did that made me blame him? They don't do that. They go, fuck that guy. I'm going to get another dick in me. I've seen women come in for service wondering why their check engine light is on when they poured oil until it was full, coming to the top of the oil cap. I got one in the shoulder at 15, made me cry. Oh, yeah. As Theo said, which parent should be raising which child? See, that's the tough part about dating women with kids. Because if you see the son or daughter act up, you can't do nothing. You can't kick them in the face or nothing. Yeah, fatherless household. My 6-year-old son knew what the fuck is up. Needs reminding from time to time. Even my 11-year-old daughter needs a reminder from time to time. I lived in a house with someone who would beat the shit out of me, Alex. I appreciated Alejandro Sr. Thank you so much for beating the shit out of me as a young man to teach me right from wrong. Morals were instilled. Values, respect, everything this industry is missing. My daughter was dating a guy that I made by just commenting on his college major. Brother, at 10, my dad would pick up and throw me and my brother across the living room floor if we acted like idiots. That's a good dad. Black Cobra says, I didn't play with my dad. When I was taking out the trash and said something back to him out of the way, he shoved me off the porch and it flew into the garage. Shit happened in slow motion. Shout out to Black Cobra 95's dad. It's nice to get the nod from your lady's dad. It shows he trusts you to take care of looking after her, which is huge. Yeah, but the fucking dumb son of a bitch would see. The problem is this: he would always say, I'm happy that my daughter's dating a man, but then in the same breath he'd say, spoil my daughter. That's why she came out fucked up. Boy, Charlie. Oh, Charlie, if I told you what your daughter did, trifling. 40 Glock in my nightstand.
Cause I'm trifling. 40 Glock in my nightstand. Roll up his backwood before he put that pipe in.
Oh my God. Your daughter's nasty. Nasty. The nastiest of nasty. Men are actually aware of the surroundings. Women are not. Got to keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you don't get that slid up on. My dad taught himself almost everything he knows now, and anytime my brother and I acted terribly for our mother, he would call him and he would be right over. Mom threatening to call dad was DEFCON 1. DEFCON 1 is the nuclear missiles are in the air. DEFCON 1. Postpartum abortion, 80th trimester. Sounds like Jake dodged that bullet. When Turby leaves the house, he's like, Mama, can you take me to the store? They get over men by getting under another one. This younger generation is cooked. I'm finding so many 19 to 24-year-olds. They don't even want to work and act like they know everything. 6'7". It's 6'7". That's what's going on nowadays. What the fuck is wrong with people? Dating a woman with kids sucks. Yeah, you have no right to do anything. No right to do anything. I remember, look, Tiffany's are the worst women to date. Every Tiffany I've gone out with ever has been an awful person. Awful person. perfect in bed, and they've always had the best asses. I don't know what it is about the name Tiffany, but every single time I dated Tiffany, the ass is on point. Sex is great, but they're the worst people on the planet. And I remember I went out with a Tiffany in Connecticut when I was back in Massachusetts. In that 1 year that I was single, woo! I basically, a wave, like a tsunami of jizz, everything in Western Mass, everything in Massachusetts got jizzed on. Everything. Because I wasn't playing games. So, bulldozed through so much bullshit. So, this woman had a kid, great kid, loved Street Fighter. And look, if you like Street Fighter as a kid, I'm gonna fuck you up. So, I got him a little Street Fighter game. He had a little Game Boy or something, or some kind of Sega thing. And I gave him a little Street Fighter game. He was so happy. And anyway, everything all worked out. So he got a bunch of gifts one Christmas, a bunch. And she was disappointed. By the end of Christmas, she was disappointed. She was just kind of putting on a face. I'm like, damn, I just want to smash that toto and bounce. I got shit to do. But no, she was all mad, and I had to talk to her. I'm like, hey, what's going on? How come you're like all a little down on it? He didn't get enough gifts this year. I'm seeing paper stacked up to the ceiling. It was a single child, only child. But, she had her grandparents and dad, and I gave presents. And I'm just like, the kid looks spoiled as fuck, right? She wanted to just spoil him rotten like a woman. So I'm like, no, he did okay. Shit, compared to what I had growing up, he's doing good. And she goes, well, it's not my fault your father was a deadbeat dad. How dare you? That guy had more honor in his pinky than you have in your whole fucking body. The fuck out of here, stupid. Don't ever talk about my dad. I'll kick you right in the fucking teeth. Imagine having a hobby that's dating. My little brother never got the belt, and it shows. He's an adult child now in his late 30s. I didn't know this was the dating channel. I, like most people, exercise Monday to Friday. By the time I get back Monday afternoon and the anxiety and demons start to creep back in, I get through that first set. I guess I don't have demons, but my brain waves definitely smooth out. You have like a hyperactive thoughts in mind, and idle. What is it? Idle hands is the devil's playground. Idle time is the idle time is the devil's workshop. Yeah. Suggesting that when people are unoccupied, they're more susceptible to temptation, mischief, and negative influences. So idle time is the devil's workshop. So if a man is busy, women, it just means he's less likely to do trifling shit. And he's more likely to concentrate on you. But don't tell him to stop being busy, because that's what's keeping him alive. The love of my life dropped me like a second thought during the biggest crisis of my life, says Joseph Lacey. Dealing with potential death is far easier than dealing with women. Brother, you're not wrong. They'll drop you at the no problem. And then they're the victim. Things are so damn effed up now. I started just saying DPS. That means Disney Princess Syndrome. It's self-explanatory. You should try a big girl, but keep in mind they don't like sport seats. No, look, this is the problem with big girls. I have to be attracted to you. I was talking to a girl that's big, but she had a really pretty face, and I was like, I can't do that. That's like a lack of discipline. If you're fat, you give in to temptation, you have a lot of idle time, you probably make too much money, and you're not really motivated by how big. Like, if you can't wipe your cunt from the front, like you gotta like just get out of the toilet and shower. I'm sorry. And this girl was that big, and I'm not huge, but she was big enough that I thought to myself, she has no self-respect. I can't date a girl that has no self-respect. The worst problem with all 20-year-olds is their cell phone. Yep. Last girl I dated was brain rotted to death by TikTok. I said, stop watching TikTok. You act stupid and you reference stupid shit all day. Off topic, my 23 F-150 feels sluggish compared to my dad's 24. Trucks are both Coyotes, same trim options, and miles. He uses 87, I use 92. Besides ditch and flex, what did Ford change? Gear ratio? What's the gear ratio in his? Is it 373s? That's all these kids do. Play video games, and you might be cooked if you're calling out Street Fighter. You might be cooked calling out Street Fighter community. No, I'm not gonna win, but I'll play you. I'm not gonna sit there and like master Street Fighter. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, KC26, exactly. She was big. And I'm like, I don't care how much money you make. You're big. You can either tolerate a busy man or babysit a broke one. My grandmother told me stepmom My grandmother told me, I'm reading it like he typed it. My grandmother told me, maybe you're Irish. My grandmother told me, stepmom, this is when she complained about my dad constantly being busy. Princess treatment without teaching accountability is the worst thing you can do. Sorry I'm late, says EPA. Not fat, Alex, just naturally big. No, if the girl's naturally big, no problem. But she's got to be proportionate. Should do a TDC, I'm good. Leave the Mustang tuning alone, EPA. You wouldn't be late. Exactly. So, yeah, again, in that same video, bro, Farley said that his son did not buy a 24 Mustang because of lack of tuning. And one guy, a caller, I think Patel, called in and said, hey, the 20... Oh, my, I got to play that sound clip. It's so stupid. Patel, 21 Mustang, Farley, tuning. Excuse me. Here it is. It's TikTok? God damn it. Where is it? Oh, I don't want to play it. God, I don't like his face. Oh, man. Where is it? Ford Authority. Is it here? Nope. Ford Authority putting up fucking Palm Beach Dyno. Fucking retard. Let me see. Where is the volume here? What the fuck?
Actually get a job in manufacturing?
I think it was Hans. This is 15 years old. It's important for AI is. And
shut the fuck up. You're trying to be a politician. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know what the fuck you're talking about, Farley. Shut the fuck up. So let me go back to Facebook because, believe it or not, Facebook had decent reels. Farley Patel. Let me see. Farley Patel. Because he said people want to do burnouts. People want Americana. And I go, what? What the fuck? Jim Farley. It's so stupid. He said one of the stupidest things I've ever heard is him talk. Jim Farley, Mustang. I'm not going to find it now. No. I'm clicking reels. Fuck. Why does it revert to accounts? No. Let me go back. Farley, Podcast, Patel, 21 Mustang. He says, I have a 21 Mustang convertible, and they're so tunable. Here it is. Here it is.
Mustang guy. I have a 20.
Okay, perfect. This is good.
As you know, okay. I'm a Mustang guy.
Shut the fuck up.
As you know.
Oh my God, TikTok is so stupid. Like the controls are stupid. Everything's stupid on TikTok.
I'm a Mustang guy. I have a 2021 Mustang GT convertible. People love this car because it's so easily moddable and tunable. You can just reprogram the ECU to make the car go faster. The new version of the gas Mustang, the ECUs are locked. People can't just reprogram them. And a lot of enthusiasts attribute the recent drop in sales of gas-powered Mustangs to the locked ECUs. Do you agree with that? That the locked ECUs are behind the recent drop in gas-powered Mustang sales? And do you have a plan to let people unlock the ECUs and tune the car more easily?
I would say the drop in sales, absolutely not.
The drop in sales after you had no competitors is absolutely not attributed to the lack of tuning.
Due to that. So when I look at sales for Mustang, I look at globally. In some of our biggest countries like Australia and Sweden, other areas, the Mustang continues to grow because
you are a nearsighted retard. You should be fucking fired. There is no way you answered this question like this.
People want a little slice of that America. Everyone wants to do a burnout. As far as the tunability of the vehicle, this is a real dilemma for us. And there's no real easy answer.
You know what? There is an easy answer. There's actually the easiest answer, Jim Farley. The aftermarket sells Mustang tuning. The aftermarket makes Mustangs desirable because they can be tuned. The aftermarket makes your car what it is today. Nobody is buying a Mustang and mostly keeping it stock if their goal is to have a very good performing vehicle. Everybody wants it tuned now. So what you do is you work with the aftermarket and say, what do we need to do? What kind of access do you need? And understand this, if you tune it, your warranty is gone. And are you okay with that customer? Most of them will say yes.
We want people to modify their cars, but we also have to take quality really seriously.
Excuse me, 113 recalls in 10 months?
And of course, privacy as well. I think he was talking more about the performance of the vehicle. And so our approach would be to give people over time an option to digitally adjust their vehicle from Ford.
No! We don't want your tuning.
So that we can maintain the quality, but still have the user have their own kind of idea of performance.
Okay, cool. Can I get an E85 tune with ID 1050Xs and a twin turbo? Can I get a tune from Ford for ID 1750Xs, a built transmission, a pure racing converter, ethanol 1R, and a second gear leaf with a trans brake option and a two-step? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Jim Farley. I didn't hear you. Did you say, what the fuck were those words coming out of your mouth? Is that even English? You're stupid. Dude, that was the first time Dude, was that the first time Alex got an Irish accent? We got an Irish accent from Alex. Hey there, laddie. Change of subject. GTD weighs more than my F-150. Jim Farley just salty because that tuner had dull cow eyes. Farley never got beat up by his dad. Stupid inbound. But inflation, Alex. Concerned with everywhere but here. How is he CEO? He needs to grow some balls, beating around the bush like a loser. Just say it in plain English. Is Jim Farley a troll? That same quality and tuning that throws misfire codes on stock vehicles at what? I reached out to UPR and I said, have you taken that truck to the dealership yet? Because I want to make sure that, you guys, it's almost like they need somebody outside to like do stuff for them. Like, hey, just give me the truck. Just give me the truck. I'll go to the dealership. I'll say, hey man, this thing has a misfire at what? Fix it. It's free. Fix it. I'll return it back to stock because it did its stock and I have documentation. Fix it. Go Watt. Let it go through the gears and it does not misfire. Cool. Do a power balance test. Do whatever the fuck you got to do. Replace the harness. I don't care. Fix it. Because once Magnuson comes out with the supercharger, they're probably going to get a supercharger for it ASAP and get the fuck off of the Ford tune. Farley, what the hell did you just say? Yeah, hi, how you doing? I just bought a 2025 Ford Mustang and I'm really happy about it. Ford, how you doing? I got 1050X injectors, a 4 Innovations fuel system, return. I'm going to be running ethanol 1R. I actually had Midnight build the transmission in anticipation for the more power that I was making. It's going to have a daylight twin turbo kit. I wanted bump. So I got the 10R stager and a two-step with a watt box. So can you just send me a tune for that, please, Ford? So, like, why do you want to do that at all? Because, like, it's messing up the reliability of the engine if you're gonna... Farley is in a bubble, like all the libtards. He has no idea what's happening. The fact that he says it's a complicated issue tells me he doesn't understand it. Ford needs an outsider's perspective that is very familiar with the aftermarket, almost as if an ambassador to what... You need a bridge. You need a bridge between the aftermarket and the OEM and talk to each other. But because there is none of that, they look down on us, even though we, the aftermarket, by far make the product more desirable than they can. What are you talking about? We make everything. We make the crank, yeah, but we make it better. We double, triple the horsepower. We make it live the longest. We make it fun again. We make the Mustang compete against cars they have no business competing against. That's why you, Farley, thought the GTD was doing something. And you taking that to Multimatic and charging people $300,000, and Chevy, who probably has a better grasp of what's happening in the aftermarket, says, let's put a flat plane crank 5.2 in it with twin turbos. And it beat your shit. Stupid. What about that ad where the girl was assaulted because she had a tune? I don't know what you're talking about. For a Burble tune option coming for 2026. What year is UPR truck? 2025. Brand new. Good morning, gang. What's up? Yeah, you're going to need an iron block for that. Well, we have a werewolf, and you need that. If you're going to do a two-step, and why? Outside consultant. Absolutely. An outside consultant. I am willing to talk to you, Ford. Obviously, we're going to get paid because I'm not going to give up anything in terms of thought process. A lot of people know more than I about tuning, the technical aspects of building a vehicle. Nobody in this whole industry can communicate that to the normies like I can. And if I can go to Ford and do a PowerPoint presentation of what the aftermarket does with their Ford F-150, fuck off-road. Give a shit about off-road shit. Keep that shit over there. I'm talking about race shit, asphalt, concrete, street shit. You want to open up that market, and you are giving people with drifting. You're giving people that drift more attention than the things that actually sell product. Do you think people buy a new Mustang to enter into drifting events? No. Ford needs an outside ambassador. Ford picks. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what would happen. That is exactly what would happen. And you know what? Some asshole reporter from one of these digital sites will say, oh, you need them. Why? Because they don't want me because I'm better than them in everything. I get more eyes on my shit. I communicate better. I'm real. They don't like that. Again, one of these dumb fucks came up to me. He's like, hey, Alex, you're wrong about it. Direct injection and port injection. I'm like, where do you see that? Well, they took an engine designed for direct injection and put port injection on it and made less power. Oh. That's the people that are the decoders of what Ford is putting out there and what the aftermarket. When you read some of these websites, you know these motherfuckers are just repeating and regurgitating what the company is telling them. Ford needs Lund access. Ford performance is nothing without Lund racing. I mean, you could argue that. 5.5 twin turbo. Sorry, 5.5. I said 5.2. The comment on Doug's Cook post is full of window lickers. Good Lord. I don't know what you're talking about. Which post? I don't watch him because I don't feel he's a good representative for this industry. I don't give a fuck. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that people are just plastering Motion Raceworks stickers on cars that probably don't have anything Motion Raceworks related on their car. But they need sponsorship. So they're like I was watching a clip of the 4-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive race. And one of the 2-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive contestants said, man, that last run, I couldn't get the car stopped. I really need a set of TBM brakes. What? Why not Aerospace? Why not Strange? Why not Willwood? It's because you wanted what the guy that was there holding the event represents. So you should have just said, my car probably could use a better set of brakes to stop at events like this. But he goes, oh, man, I really need a set of TBM brakes, man. And I'm like, I get it. So when you're, as a company, slapping stickers on cars that what does Motion Raceworks makes that goes on a car that has like a Proline engine with a big-ass supercharger? What, the catch can? You know what? If it wasn't for this catch can, I wouldn't have won that race. Ford Performance rebrands back to Ford Racing. Doesn't unlock the ECU. Ford thinks Stang Mode is their insider. They need to drop the price of the Mustang by $10,000. Just remember, Ford did a Pride Raptor. That shows a lot about Ford. Exactly. Bear brakes are good too. Right. I need a set of Bear brakes, Strange, Aerospace, Willwood. Nope. No. TBM. Aerospace brakes are like the OG TBM fad, except good. 2-week wait time on recalls and maintenance, but wants to offer tuning. Would you send an NDA to work with Ford on fixing their shit? Nope. I want to tell you what they're doing. Nope. I want to tell you what the fuck they're doing. Well, guys, how you doing? Welcome to Talking Shit Tuesday. I went into Ford and I found out they're fucked up. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They have no idea about the aftermarket. They don't even know what a twin turbo kit is and how the hell it works. They thought by putting a 9-pound boost supercharger on a GT350, the crank would fly right the fuck off. No, I'm not signing any NDA. Fuck you. I want to make sure the people know what the fuck you guys are doing at Ford so that they don't buy your product in the future. All right, I'm going to get out of here. So I'm going to get to the gym so I can keep this old body in good shape and maybe work on the car. I have a video dropping tonight, me in front of the camera, like this, talking about what chassis is best for what use. I'm going to make the case in that video that depending on what you want to do for racing should determine the chassis you buy. So, and again, we're sticking to Coyote. Mustang, F-150, we're sticking to that. So hopefully you enjoy a 15-minute video of me just putting clips together and taking you through my thought process as to what car that came with a Coyote you should pick up based on the kind of racing that you want to do. Exactly. YOLO did not sign NDAs either. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Tuesday for Talk Shit Tuesday. There'll be a video dropping tonight at about 5 to 6 p.m. Check it out. Get some thoughts about which chassis to fuck with, and then we'll reconvene back on Tuesday to see what has happened in the last couple of days. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see